Hey there, Coach David here, the Volley Nerd. I'm here to ask you a very important question. Why do volleyballs spin? You go to hit a ball, and something happens. It goes in the direction that is opposite of where your hand made contact with the ball. Additionally, it has either topspin, backspin, or side spin. Why? What makes the ball spin? Let's test it. I'm gonna hit this ball a number of different ways, and you tell me what happened after I made contact. Let's make a quick note. The floor is here. The ceiling is there. The center line of the ball is right here relative to the floor, okay? Using gravity, perpendicular. Gravity's going this way. The center line of the ball is right here, okay? Everybody with me so far? What happened? What happened? What happened? It does not matter how you make contact with the ball. What matters is the angle of contact and the contact point on the ball relative to the center line of the ball. So, if I have a fist and I make contact with this ball under the center line, what happens? If you said backspin, you're correct. The ball is now spinning back towards the point of contact. The contact below the center line causes the ball to spin backwards relative to the contact point. If you do the exact same contact with the exact same hand above the center line, what happens? What happens? If you said topspin, as in the ball spins away from the contact point, you'd be correct. Which means all that matters is contact point and direction of contact. For instance, if you went straight down on top of the ball above center line, there would be no spin because the relative contact point is dead center. That's just how it works. This is basic physics. This is how all balls interact with the world. All spherical objects, this is what happens. It's not a mystery. So if you look at somebody who spiked the ball and they made contact above the center line, this is above center line, just so you know. It's not center line because the rest of your hand still imparts force into the ball. Right here, if it's above center line, that ball will always have topspin. You only don't get topspin when you hit dead center line, like so. Relative contact point, that's the only thing that matters. What your wrist is doing is irrelevant. What does your hand look like on contact? If my wrist looks like this and I hit the top of the ball, what happens? What happens? If my wrist looks like this and I hit the bottom of the ball under the center line, what happens? What happens? What happened? You cannot look me in the face and make the argument that the reason topspin happens is because of wrist snap. That's not why it happens. What wrist snap might do, what this action might do, because you can't prove this, is make your spike slightly stronger. You may import slightly more force into the ball. The reason why you can't prove this is because a spike happens at less than 1/10 of a second. The amount of time it takes for this ball to move away from your hand after you've made contact is less than 1/10 of a second. So if you think that this movement makes that happen faster, you're free to believe whatever you want. When you can show me data that proves that, I will change my position. Until you do that, don't try and tell me that wrist snap is important or relevant. Any questions? You're telling me that wrist snap made that happen. You're telling me that the reason why this happens is because of wrist snap? What? Let me be exceedingly clear. I can see, just like anybody else, that a lot of hitters, even really, really good hitters, start with their hand back or even neutral, right? And they open up and their hand lags a little bit behind their arm. And then once you've seen the slow motion, once they're done with their spike, their hand comes forward like this. That is not equal to wrist snap. That is not this, okay? If this was the driver for all of spiking, this is what would happen. It is so infinitesimally important, like irrelevant. It is such an afterthought that it does not even enter my vocabulary as a coach. I have never once said to a player, hey, you know, your whole spike looks really good. You got the great draw, you got the great extension, but your wrist snap is holding you back. In fact, you know, that's never happened. What has happened is I've had hitters on my team who have had terrible success. I coach primarily older age groups, so I don't get them when they're young. They come to me, and they're just not successful hitters. Why? Because I ask them, hey, what happened on that spike? You completely, like, mistimed it. He's like, oh, I didn't snap my wrist. No, that's not what happened. That is not why you failed to hit the ball where you wanted it to go, or over the net for that matter. What happened was you're so focused on this part of your body that all the rest of this is doing other stuff that it's not supposed to be doing. How about get your feet to the ball, do a good approach, get a nice quality jump, get as high as you can, open up as much as you can, tilt those shoulders so you get this arm nice and high, and then make high contact point and follow through to your target. What is that? None of this has anything to do with this. This doesn't do Just stop it. Stop prescribing it. Stop talking about it. It doesn't matter. You can say that it exists. You can believe whatever you want. You show me the data, I will change my position. So for all the players watching this right now, if your coach tells you to snap your wrist, ask them why. And if they say to put topspin on the ball, feel free to show them this video. Or do a demonstration yourself. I can put topspin on the ball doing this. Coaches. This debate has been going on for decades. It's time to put it to rest. If you can, without any doubt, prove with video, evidence, research, that wrist snap does what you say it does, please feel free to respond to this video. I will happily discard my position as a non-believer of RISNAP. If you can prove to me that it exists and is important and does what you say it does. To everybody else, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.